we do what we call character-based loans. And the notion is that we're investing in the newcomer, that they want to succeed, they want to return to the professions or the occupations that they were trained for.
For us, it's not just about lending money. For us, it's trying to add value to the process, do what we can to get them further along getting their license or their training so that they can, in fact, reach that end point of being fully employed in their field.
With character-based loans, we know that a lot of immigrants don't have access to that credit history, or they don't have assets to secure the loan. But by looking at character, we're able to say, how is this person showing their willingness to move ahead? What's the strength of the loan plan?
We really look to their future. We really look to how highly motivated they are, how engaged they are, how committed they are. So really, when we give a loan to people, I like to think of it as we're giving a loan for where we expect they will be in 2 years or 3 years or 10 years. And I think that's a bit of a difference between a community loan program like Immigrant Access Fund and the mainstream bank. We just have a bit more flexibility.
We are really flexible, so people can use it to fund whether it's training courses or exams. We've had one person purchase tires with it because they needed a safe vehicle to get to, the job that they were planning to do. We've had someone else take driving training who was a truck driver in another country and came here and needed to get his license, that class of license. Well, it's whatever the individual needs to further their learning and get accredited or be able to work in their profession. We don't want to just put people into debt unless it's a good loan. We're interested in good loans that are going to help them along their path to full integration, economic integration in Canada, recognizing the benefits to them and to Canada when we do that. In terms of the difference that it makes, the story that Dianne tells is we had an individual who had worked in the oil and gas sector abroad, came to Canada, could not get his credentials recognized, and was working stocking shelves in Walmart at minimum wage. Took a loan from us for about $5,000, completed his designation. When he completed his designation, his first job was at $40 an hour. And he's just moved on to bigger and greater things since then, So at a personal level for him, for his family, sense that he had all of these skills, all of this experience, he wasn't able to contribute before in the way he had hoped to contribute when he first came to Canada, and now being able to be in that position where he can. And I think for me personally, that's one of the biggest things, is the difference it makes in the individual's lives. If you look at where our model started, we didn't start here. We started as a kitchen table group. And we started with getting buy-in from other members of the community. And we went to the business community and said, this is the dream, this is the vision, help us. And those voices were critical because they came up with some very innovative things, ways of doing things that we in the sort of social services, nonprofit sector don't always think that way. And their advice and their buy-in was, I think, critical.
And as a mainstream bank would look at assets as being, how much money do you have in the bank, or the value of your home or your car or anything, we look at the assets the individual has brought with them to Canada. So we look at the training they had before they came to Canada, or their education or their experience. To us, that's the big asset pool that we want to build on.
When we do our loan review, we're looking at the value add there. And so we're trying to connect with professional associations or other people who can come onto our loan review and make sure that this is a good learning path for the individual, but they can also play that mentoring role to the applicant and support them along the journey. And as we work with e-loans, our challenge, but I think also our strength, is how do we work in different communities and cities across Canada to build those linkages with potential community partners in each community to take on those roles and become the champions of immigrants individually and of the loan fund.
Where we are now in being able to provide microloans to anybody living anywhere in Canada, we go into this with a whole bunch of confidence because we know that the backbone of this is our values. And for as long as that is the situation, we think we'll meet with success.
I live in Edmonton, and I really like Edmonton, but I did start my journey to Canada in Toronto. And it's wonderful to be back in Toronto. I love being in the downtown area, and to see the changes and then the vibrancy of Toronto really excites me, and to see the diversity in Toronto. So kudos to Toronto. And I'll be quiet now because Dianne will go, what about Calgary?
Yeah, I don't know that I have a favorite city. I think any city that I happen to be in on any given day is my favorite city. I like small, I like big. I have had an opportunity to do a bit of traveling in the UK, and there I really like the small. I like the little villages, but then it's always nice to get to a large city too. So I truly don't have an answer to that.